day of your time. How are you all? We will once again thank each and every one of you individually and collectively for allowing this link to be established in this way at this time. Once again, each and every time you afford us an opportunity to communicate with your civilization in this way, we are given the opportunity to see through you an expansion of the infinite in understanding all the different ways you have of looking at creation. So we thank you for this gift. We would like to begin this link, this communication, this day of your time, with a few comments on a variety of subject matter. Number one, well, from time to time, with many of you discussed the concept of dis-ease. And as we have perceived, many of you on your planet are beginning to explore alternative methods for dealing with the concept of dis-ease in your society. We would like now, not necessarily to run down a complete list, but to recap many of the things that have been discussed, just to give you in one consolidated moment a few of the ideas that have been discussed so you can remember and perhaps refer to them if necessary within this immediate conversation. First and foremost, of course, as always, remember that no matter what the physiological mechanism that may be involved, such physiological mechanisms of disease are only extensions of spiritual states or emotional states that exist first, that are in and of themselves out of balance and, as you say in your language, diseased. So the first idea of dealing through what you may call alternative methodologies with disease is, of course, the idea of removing the stress from your lifestyles, allowing yourself to lighten, in many cases, your diets. For many of the things that you ingest on your planet now are full of toxins and pollutants and are not in any way, shape, or form balanced in the way that they used to be naturally on your planet. Allowing yourself to go toward the lighter diet will, in most cases, along with the removal of stress and the ingestion of large amounts of purified water, balance your system to such a degree that dis-ease will be unlikely in your reality. Along with this, in conjunction with this, you will find, of course, that there are many methodologies you are now beginning to explore that are, shall we say, more natural, more organic, less harsh to your systems than many of the other methodologies being utilized by your mainstream science. Although, we wish to underline that from time to time you may find that many of the things in what you call your typical mainstream medical science can be of great advantage to you. It will simply depend upon the circumstances and the situation. We rule nothing out, but simply allow you to remember it is important in every circumstance to focus upon the terms, the conditions in that particular circumstance at that particular moment to make the best determination as to what methodologies are most representative of the path of least resistance for the belief systems that may exist within your consciousness at that time. Rule nothing out, but be discerning and judicious in the positive sense about what it is that is really necessary, for sometimes your methodologies are far more harsh than they need to be. Remember that the idea is that your body is a part of your natural consciousness, and when allowed to simply go back to its natural state, in the most gentle way possible, the body itself, in a sense, or your consciousness, is what is doing the realigning, is what is doing the healing. You do not heal yourself externally. You heal yourself internally by simply going back to your natural state. However, again, because you have created an exteriorized symbolic physical world to represent your non-physiological consciousness, there are many things in the physical world that are representative and can act as triggers, shall we say, or inducements, perhaps, to help you allow yourself or grant yourself permission to let go and go back to the natural zero rest point state of your natural inclinations so that you can function in a natural way, and that is, in a sense, a healthy way. Some of the ingredients that would be more representative of the natural inclinations would be, of course, as we have said, foodstuffs that are more organic and natural in nature, especially, as we have discussed already many times, the substances specifically that you would call, especially when the body is in crisis, the ingestion thereupon of high amounts of your juice of carrot, high amounts of what you would call the substance of your kombucha, but in only certain circumstances, high amounts of what you would call your substance of Essiac or any variety of that tea thereof, high amounts sometimes in certain circumstances only of what you would call the juices of your grapes, high amounts again many times of the juices of some of the green substances on your planet, such as your spinaches and kales. And these things contain great amounts of what are referred to now in your society of monatomic elements that can aid and assist in a variety of ways in allowing your body to go back to its natural state of rest. There will be from time to time circumstances wherein some of what you call oxygenation therapies and ozone therapies can be of some benefit, but these must be used, again, in discerning amounts and judiciously, for in some circumstances these things can actually burn the system out. Allow yourself also to recognize that in some circumstances electromagnetic fields, when low in amperage and pulsed exactly according to the specific idea of the body's natural frequency of approximately 7.5 to 7.83 cycles per second in conjunction with the earth vibration, can be very, very efficacious in allowing for the removal of tumors and many other forms of disease, especially when specifically directed through electrical impulse in those tumors, and the body is allowed to balance itself in the manner of what you would call an electric battery, to balance its positive and negative poles in that way. This can also be, again, very efficacious, but again, only in certain circumstances. The idea also, many times, of what you would call the essential oils of things in many plants, when rendered into absolute pure form, will be very, very strongly effective in the body, especially through certain aromatherapeutic methodologies, because what this is doing is, in molecular form, triggering your own brain to release the appropriate chemical solutions or symbols to bring your body back into balance. Anything and everything in that sense that would allow you to take advantage of resonance or vibrational frequency or identification or association with a state of health, body healing methodologies, or anything that provides you with an atmosphere or an environment that is representative of the vibrational state of health and allows you to key to that state and go back to your natural zero state. The least invasive technologies in that sense, the most natural ones, would be the ones that would be perhaps best pursued by the majority of your people, although again we rule nothing out, depending upon the situation and the circumstances contained therein. It is up to each and every one of you to use your intuition and, of course, to recognize that now that you are beginning to explore the whole concept of consciousness and realize that you are more than just your physical reality, more than just your physical body, that you really do create your reality with your consciousness, you are now beginning to realize that less invasive technologies are necessary to attain great results, because you are now participating in your awareness of how you created the circumstances that exist in your life to begin with, and can recognize the responsibility necessary to let go of those things that no longer work for you, those ideas, those definitions that allow you to hold on to concepts such as disease and stress and so forth. And in letting them go and taking responsibility for what you have created in your life, you can begin to gain more conscious recognition and realization and commandment, so to speak, over the choices and definitions of life you do prefer. And in instilling those within you, allowing yourself then to key yourself to those template energies, and in so doing, allowing yourself to exist and express yourself much more naturally, in much more a natural, harmonic way, with the core vibration of your truth. That is item 1. Item 2. Item 2. And I just, as I say, throw this out to you. Many of you have heard us speak many times about our particular viewpoint of many different kinds of changes that will take place upon your planet, be they sociological, be they political, be they economic, be they religious, or be they, in some senses, geological. We recognize again that it is your frequency that determines where you are, when you are there, and how it is you experience transformation. So, we simply will rely on the fact, we assume it to be a fact, that you will understand how to take this and allow us to simply put out that there is absolutely no need for worry, but you might be due for a small shake in the near future in your particular area that we are communicating with right now. Nothing to worry about. Relax, enjoy it. Most of you will find that you get shaken far more severely in many of the amusement parks on your planet, and you enjoy that readily enough. So take it in stride as a ride. You will be fine.
Thank you.
Item 3. There are now many changes, speaking of changes in the collective conscious recognition of many of the things that are going on your planet, especially with regard to more and more awareness of extraterrestrial interaction and consciousness. You will now find that there is going to be much more, a flood more of information between your now time and what you call the end of your 1997 year regarding the whereabouts and the possibilities of beginning dialogues and interactions with certain extraterrestrial species. Many gates are now opening, and I am talking about something quite physiological. You're going to find startling and stunning and staggering opportunities for interaction as long as you maintain a high degree of integrity. And this is paramount, a high degree of integrity and alignment within your own sense of responsibility. You will find that within the next 2 orbits of your time, there will be very strong opportunity for interaction, not perhaps with whom you think. Something surprising. Though we have discussed it many times, and though we have referred to it obliquely, you will find now there will be more direct references. The references we have already given are basically as follows. There used to be what you call millions of years ago in your times of counting, a civilization upon the planet you call Mars. We have told you that many of the Martians in that sense, as you would recognize them, after there was a natural disaster that rendered the planet mostly non-inhabitable, did incarnate and reincarnate upon your planet of Earth, and so in that sense, many of you are Martians in that sense. However, there are still some of the originals, and you will be meeting them soon. Also, we have discussed, as we were asked many times, the idea of many of the probes that your planet has sent to your Martian planet, in that they seem to cease to function as soon as they arrived. And we have again told you, it has nothing to do with many of the cover-ups and conspiracies on your planet. It has to do with the fact that someone at the other end did not want the probes there and did something about it. We have told you that now more than once, and you will come to soon in the near future find reinforcement and corroboration for this idea. We would direct your attention to another thing we have said, and that is, as we have been asked many times about many of the places on your planet, and especially with regard to what you call the vortices, the doorways, the gateways that exist upon your planet in energy terms that connect your world to other worlds, other realms, other dimensions of reality. We direct your attention to many of the things we have said about what you call your Santa Fe area. We have told you many times that it is a unique kind of portal in that there is, shall we say, a similar portal of similar frequency on many other worlds that tie directly into that portal you know on your planet as Santa Fe. And so it could be said, in a way, that there is a Santa Fe on many different planets, and to be in that vortex is to automatically connect you energetically, dimensionally, to many other civilizations and realities. You will soon come to find that this is more literal and more immediate and more physical than you think. I think that just about takes care of our agenda today. Aside from, of course, the 4th agenda, which is our interaction with each and every one of you at this time, we will, for a moment, or a few moments of your time, begin with sharing from individuals who are, in your context, brand new to these interactions and who have never had an opportunity to share before. Therefore, at this time, invite, by way of what you call question and answer and interaction, those entities to these interactions to, by all means at this time, interact. And I ask you now, those who are new, in what way at this time, in return for the gift of this sharing, may I and my civilization be of service to you?
Bashar?
Yes.
Say good day to you this day of your time. How are you all? Once again, we take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for allowing our civilization to communicate with you through this window in this way at this time. Once again, each and every time you allow our civilization to make this link with you, it expands our understanding of all that many more ways that the infinite has of expressing itself within creation, and simultaneously strengthens the co-creation of a third new reality that is different between your reality, our reality, in which one day we may be capable of meeting you more concretely face to face. So we thank you for the opportunity to co-engineer that new dimension of reality with each and every one of you. We would like to begin this transmission this day of your time with a brief idea. And that is, again, connecting to the concept of choices, allowing each and every one of you just another new, as you say, spin on the concept of making choices, to allow yourselves to remember that everything is a choice. There really is no such thing as being between choices. The only thing that exists, in a sense, between choices is a complete state of neutrality, complete state of balance in that sense. But as you make a choice, you are then invoking the idea of a manifestation, of an attraction, of an experience, of a reality. There is really no such thing as waiting to make a choice, for in a sense, even the idea of experiencing neutrality is a choice. But as you make your choices from one to the other, and understand that there's really nothing in between, that you're always in a state of choosing something, you can allow yourself more opportunity to experience, to know, to feel that all choices are equal. No choice, in a sense, has more power than any other choice. And all choices being equal in their capability of manifestation will thus paradoxically allow the choices you prefer to be capable of being attracted more effortlessly, more easily, to manifest along the path of least resistance, because you will not be making the idea of one choice over another as if it is more important. And by allowing all choices to be equal, you allow each choice the same ability to manifest. By assuming that you have to, in a sense, keep other things at bay, keep things away from you, by spending your energy on the idea of focusing on not choosing this or not choosing that, or being afraid of choosing this or being afraid of choosing that, you are creating, by that perspective, by that point of view, more focus, more energy, more solidity to that particular choice than any other choice you say you want. So please remember that the paradox, the power in the paradox in this situation, is that by relaxing your focus on what you don't want, by relaxing your focus on what you might be afraid might happen, and just allowing the idea that if that does happen, it's really no more powerful than anything else. It is just another choice. It is just another experience. By coming into your reality with that attitude, you give yourself far more capability and far more self-empowerment to be able to attract the choice that is representative of your truth, of your natural self, of your preference. So that you don't have to spend energy fusing the idea of power you have to things you are afraid may happen. And the reality to simply automatically and effortlessly manifest the things that are representative of the vibrating state you in the end at any given moment. The idea, again, to please remember, is that as you allow all choices to be equal, as you allow the path of least resistance to manifest itself in your reality, is to remember to remain in the moment, intact with your discernment about what is happening, and to be willing to use every single scrap, every single iota, every single gram, every single crumb of what is going on. If it is there for a reason, it is there for your reason. In that sense, it is all an orchestration. There are no accidents in that manner. So every little single thing, no matter how insignificant it may seem, we're not saying you have to become fixated on it in terms of being fixated on all the details, but simply realize and allow that everything that is going on, no matter what it is, no matter how big, no matter how small, is there for a reason as part of the whole picture that you happen to be at that moment. Do not discount or dismiss or ignore or deny anything that is going on in your reality at any given moment, because if you do, you are denying a portion of the present, you are denying a portion of your power, you are denying a portion of your orchestration, and therefore not capable of allowing the next moment to occur because you are unwilling to allow this moment to be fully what it needs to be. You must accept yourself totally. And this brings us to the final point of this brief idea, this brief sharing, and that, once again, is that no matter how many techniques you may get from us or elsewhere, no matter how many tools for manifestation or living your life you may get from us or elsewhere, no matter how many ideas, no matter how many philosophies, no matter how many understandings you have about reality or yourself that you wish to apply to make change in your life, no matter how many you get, no matter where they come from, they are all hinged, first and foremost, on your unconditional love of yourself, on your true valuation of yourself, on your true and total acceptance of yourself, and the cessation of denial of your being. If you do not value yourself first, love yourself unconditionally, accept yourself as you are, you cannot use any of these tools in any way, shape, or form. They will not be effective because you will not be present to use them. Only by loving yourself unconditionally, even if you know you wish to change. Only by loving yourself as you are unconditionally gives you the power to stay in the present, to be able to use the tools that we are sharing with you, or anyone may share with you, because only in the present is your point of power. You only exist in the here and now, and if you are not allowing yourself to accept yourself fully, then you are not being in the present. If you're not in the present, you cannot use the things that exist in the present, because that's the only place things exist, here and now. So if you pretend that you're not here, if you ignore a portion of yourself, if you deny a portion of what is happening in your life, as if it were not a reflection of you, then you deny yourself the capability and the power to use all the knowledge, all the empirical mechanical understanding, all the consideration, all the definitions we have shared or others have shared with you. So it begins with you. It continues with you. It ends with you in the sense of knowing that you are made out of unconditional love of the infinite, and thus if you do not reflect in thought, word, and deed all that unconditional love, which again does not mean that you dispense with discernment about recognizing what you prefer as a vibration, but nevertheless recognizing that you can still unconditionally allow, unconditionally love, equally allow all choices to be valid, while then choosing, while then making the choice from your recognition, from your unconditional love, those things that you know represent your truth, your vibration, your reality, as your understanding of the consciousness of the being that you were created to be. Therefore, with this in mind, we thank you once again for allowing us at this timing to share this tidbit of information with you, this perspective, this point of view. And in return for the gift that you are giving our civilization in allowing us to experience this interaction with each and every one of you, I ask you now in return, in what way at this time may I and my world be of service?